What's up guys, my name is Elias and welcome to your second tutorial on jQuery. And in this video I'm going to be talking to you about selectors. Since selectors are very important, I can barely imagine any piece of code written in jQuery without the use of selectors. And if you're already familiar with CSS and you already work with it, you have to know what they are. And so you can actually skip this video and get to the next one. Pretty much. So if you don't know what CSS is, or if you don't know how to style an element, you can follow along. Let's add a style tag first. Okay, let's imagine we have a button, and let's say it's button 1. And we want this button not to be standard, we want this button to be larger. So I can just type button, font size 20 pixel. So it got larger, and now I want to create some another button. Say it's button 2, and we have two buttons like the same size. So and what if I only want my first button to be large and the second button to be small? So what should I do? I have to select a button. So how do I do that? There are two options. The first option is I can use class. So I can use class of big, for example, and use class of small. And then instead of selecting all the buttons here, I can select only big ones. So, and I put dot. Dot stands for class. It means CSS, go ahead and select all the elements in this document which have class big, and this is this button here, and make it large, like font size 20, and the other element should not be changed. So this is what we've done. This is button 1 is large and button 2 is tiny. And what if we want our button small to be even smaller? We can say should be font size like 10 or something. Yeah, or let's say 8. Great. And what if I want to say I want to have like 3 buttons of like 3 big buttons, like button 1.1 and button 1. Whatever 2, and they all have to be big. But simultaneously, I want this very button to be yellow. How do I do that? This is where I would use IDs. So ID is a unique name of an element. I can say it should be yellow. No, I want to use actually green because it looks nicer. And in order to select this very element with green ID, I use route. I type route and the class name, which is green, properties, and I would just say color green. Refresh. And now I see my 3 large buttons with the class large, and only one button is green. You probably would ask me why you're talking about CSS and selectors. I mean, what's going on? So there's a good news for you guys. jQuery uses the same selectors, same selectors as CSS use. So let me just show an example. For example, what if I want to select my element 1.1 and make it disappear? Here's how I do that. I call jQuery by using this $. I can type jQuery instead, but I will use this $. And in my brackets, in my parentheses, I use this route and type the ID, which is green, like this very ID. And then I put dot and an action. Let's say I want to hide it. Let's run the code. Yeah, and it's gone. And let's say I want to hide all the elements with class big. So what do I do here? I replace this route with a dot, and it means I'm referring to the whole class. and I type big instead. And so I'm about to hide all the elements which have the class of big. Let's see. Yeah, they are gone. So this is pretty much how a simple jQuery selector works. There are way more complicated combinations of selectors, and sometimes you have like very large structures of your HTML document, and you want to select any certain element, so you would use a lot of selectors. So this is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned new stuff. And in the next tutorial, we'll be talking more about selectors and doing some more exercises. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.